Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Suicide Prevention Week. This is a subject that I'm really passionate about. I have been telling my story with a struggle of suicidal thoughts and suicidal actions. This is part 3 of that story. Last time we left off, I had been talking about finally getting back to counseling and how amazing that was, what a benefit it was. I truly started to find healing and joy and acceptance of myself. And for the first time, I hadn't been struggling with those thoughts. I was accepting and loving myself, and I was finding healing, which was amazing. And in fact, after a few years counseling, I got my first tattoo, which everybody always asks me. So this is the tattoo. Everybody always asks me, like, what is this tattoo about? And it's actually really personal. I saw a version of this tattoo and I was obsessed with it because I felt like it was what I had been going through at the time. This transformation that I had gone through over the years of letting go, and this down arrow of like being at my darkest and then coming forward and flying free and overcoming those suicidal tendencies and behaviors. And I, at that point, felt like that was it. Like I had overcome it and I was never going to deal with it again. And I was so proud of myself that I had made it this far, that I had gained so much healing. What is hard is that in the past year, for those of you who don't know, a lot has changed for us. We went through probably one of the toughest years of our life, going from these extreme highs where everything was absolutely wonderful, it was bizarre, like how much things were going right, and then all of a sudden everything came crashing down, including losing, after 8.5 years of infertility, losing our baby when we finally got pregnant, and then me almost losing my life, and then having to step down from a ministry that we were loving and building and didn't want to leave. Oh my gosh, it was bizarre, the things that kept going wrong. We kept having like animals go sick and have these medical emergencies, and it was literally like every single thing that could go wrong started going wrong. In addition to the fact that I find out that I have this major genetic mutation and all these other health issues, I start having to like wear a pump, an insulin pump, and then I'm having crashing lows and like all these other things. It was just, oh my gosh, I can't express to you like what happened in this past year and just how bizarre it was. And it was just a bizarre year. Like there's no other way to say it. It was a bizarre year. In that year, I had, because of spiritual directors and counselors, I had been doing really well dealing with the death of my son and then the trauma of almost losing my life, and literally having that moment where you're like, oh, this is it, and then being saved. I was coming through all of that really well because of the support system that I had, but then all of a sudden in December, I had this like massive downturn in mental health. And it also was because of certain things that had been going on at the time and things that were coming with us and everything going wrong, and kind of me fighting, not stepping down in my position and trying to keep up with things that I wasn't healthy enough to keep up with. And then this one night, I just had a total breakdown. My marriage was suffering. We were both suffering. Both of us were suffering. It was probably one of the darkest parts of our marriage as well, which we've had some dark parts. I felt so alone. And then I got this realization that I could easily just use my insulin and be done with it. And it was such a moment of defeat because I thought I had overcome this struggle. Here I was again. I'm a youth minister, I'm this, I'm that, and I'm shaming and guilting myself for feeling this way and for struggling so much because of, oh, you know, what is it going to do? What are people going to think? Instead of realizing, wow, I really need help. So I finally admitted to William that morning what I had been struggling with. I went to counseling. It was kind of the last straw as far as realizing that I had to step down because the news that we were getting with my health was severe, and then having this literal mental downturn I needed to take care of myself. I knew things were going on, that it had been getting this bad, that I was going to have to take care of myself, which was very humbling and very hard because that's not what I wanted to do at the time. I continued to kind of struggle with this, and what is crazy, and this is what people don't understand about mental health, is that we ended up finding out that there was a physical aspect to it. Part of my genetic mutation is that my kidney collecting ducts don't work well, and so I waste certain essential minerals, magnesium and phosphorus, and I had been wasting phosphorus and being severely low. And if you look up low phosphorus, like one of the main things is change in mental state. There was multiple things that happened around the time that I started feeling healthier again mentally, but one of them was actually getting on big doses of phosphorus. It's just crazy how much that helped. I will say this, that I still struggled a lot in this past year with moments like that, moments of desperation where I had to be honest and courageous enough to say, I'm struggling this much, and go to my spiritual directors and go to my husband and go to my family and go to my counselor and be like, this is where I'm at. Which I then eventually finally went back to a psychiatrist, and I was always against antidepressants and was like, I'm going to fix this on my own. I'm going to be okay. I'm going to do this, which it's a process because you have to find the right medication, because there were some medications that we tried that were awful and made it worse. Then I finally got a medication and it has helped drastically. That being said, I want to say this. There always has to be a resurrection to the story, right? Praise God for the people in my life. Praise God for my faith, because truly my husband and my faith and my friends and my family have been what supported me and kept me alive. What I had to come to realize and accept is that this is a struggle that I will have most likely for the rest of my life. That because of the trauma I experienced as a child, because of my physical health, because of the fact that we've battled infertility nonstop, because of all the different things that I've had to deal with, there is this cross that I carry. And I want to pretend like it isn't there, and I want to pretend and reject it, but that helps no one, because we can't shove these things aside. We can't shove aside our feelings, because we all know if we shove them down, guess what? Eventually they take over. So I want my story to give those who struggle with this courage, and the fact that every time I thought there wasn't hope and I wanted to give up, and I was given the strength to overcome, there always was hope in the end. There was always a reason for the struggle. There was always something that God showed me I needed that suffering. And this is what's crazy about this last round of dealing with these suicidal thoughts and behaviors, was that I knew that for the first time. I was like, I'm not giving up. I will not give up, because I know that even though I can't feel it, I can't see it, I can't smell it, I can't taste it, I was in such despair. I knew in my heart of hearts that because of the evidence of my life, that there would be good and there would be resurrection out of it. And this channel has been honestly the resurrection right now, is that there was purpose in all of this, and every single suffering that I've endured and every single thing I've gone through has strengthened me, has made me a better person, and has made me able to be there for other people and to give strength to other people in the midst of their fight. And this is what I think is so important about authenticity, honesty, vulnerability, and sharing our struggles, is that we are meant to be together. We are not meant to be alone, and we are meant to support and love each other. And if we can't be honest about the fact that we struggle with these things, and maybe not as intensely as I have, but in other ways, we have to let go of that vanity. We have to let go of that, what will people think? Because people are dying because of it. People are literally dying because of it, because we're too afraid to talk about it and we're too afraid to say it. But I am a living testament that it is worth the fight. It is worth the strength to muster and to ask for help. Your life is worth it. My life is worth it. And I will not give up. It's embarrassing to admit that I have these struggles. It's embarrassing to admit that I have ever acted on it. But you know what? I'm a heck of a warrior. And I'm a strong person, and so are you. And so asking for help, getting help is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength. And I want you to know that there is beauty around the corner. You may not see it now, but there will be. And there is purpose and meaning to all of it. And just realize that you will be this person someday, the person who can testify to the fact that it is worth living, that it is worth not giving up your life. It is worth it to fight through the pain and to fight through the feelings that you're having, and know that there is beauty on the other side of it. Life is hard, life is difficult, and I'm not going to lie about that. I'm not going to lie and say that everything's wonderful now, that I don't struggle, that I still don't struggle with these thoughts at times. But the reality is I've seen and had testament to the beauty of God and what He brings out of my suffering. And I can't deny it anymore. And even when I'm at my worst, I can't deny it. So therefore, I will not give up. And you cannot give up either. So I hope that my story gives you strength. It is a very shortened version of the many years of all the different avenues and things that I've done to look for healing. But I'm finally accepting myself. I'm accepting that I have this cross. I'm accepting that this is a part of my life. And I'm accepting that I am a broken person. That doesn't make me crazy. That doesn't make me a horrible person. It doesn't make me less of an individual. In fact, it makes me realize how dang freaking strong I am, and that I am a warrior, and that I will continue to fight for the rest of my life. And I hope you will too. I hope, again, that this story gave you strength. I love you with all my heart. Know that you are worth it. You are loved, and life is full of purpose. Thank you so much for listening.